Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Thursday, and all today's guests, including Stewart Johnston, Commissioner of the CFL, standing by, brought to you by the Vancouver Giants, celebrating anniversary 25. The G-Men take on Victoria tomorrow at the LEC. Puck drop 7. Arrive early as there will be an Indigenous vendors market happening inside the banquet hall with specialty T-shirts available for purchase. Visit VancouverGiants.com for ticket info and to check out their theme night schedule for this season. Stewart Johnston, 15th and current Commissioner of the Canadian Football League, joins us now. Stewart, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
Happy to be here. Thanks, Don.
Anything,
hey, Rick.
Anything new?
No, it's been pretty quiet. Just put my feet up on the desk and daydream a little bit.
What are the last few days have been? What are the last few days been like for you since the announcement of the CFL rule changes?
Well, you can imagine it's been hectic, frenetic, a mix of a number of these types of discussions, and just managing change. Right, this is change is difficult. Change is not what we're all used to, and I recognize what was announced on Monday was significant change.
How necessary do you think these moves were for the future of the league, Stewart?
We think they're great moves for the league. We ultimately, we're opening up touchdowns. This is opening up the center of the field. 80% of all our passes into the end zone are to the sides. We think it's going to increase the number of attempts into the end zone by 10%. It's going to increase the number of touchdowns by 60 or more. This is going to help with player safety, moving those posts back. It's going to help with teams that are pinned deep in their own end. We think the entertainment value of the game, of showing off our incredible 3-down, 12-player, 65-yard wide motion game is going to be electric. And I think touchdowns, it's a trade-off of touchdowns for field goals for sure, but touchdowns are what gets shared on social. It's what brings people to their feet. It's what drives a lot of television audience.
So, Stewart, we certainly know this out here. I'm sure you're aware of it. Nathan Rourke, BC Lions quarterback, has been critical of these changes. Do you understand where he's coming from, and have you reached out to him?
I absolutely understand, and it's interesting. I think he voiced some things that are reflected by a lot of people who heard change of things that have been around our league for a long time, and so I did reach out to Nathan, and we had a very, very good conversation. It was incredibly respectful and an exchange of ideas. I'm not going to get into what else was talked about, but really felt good that we had a chance to connect. And ultimately, for those fans who maybe are thinking, well, what led to this? Was this some sort of ulterior motive? And where are we going next? Is this just step one towards other massive on-field rule changes? The answer is no to both. What we described, the benefits that we see this league achieving are what led to the decision. And now we are moving on to other parts of our business to review, not the on-field product, not how to expose this great 3-down game of ours. And so I think a lot of, I hope that projection, perhaps of some fear of what's next, is allayed, because we really are not focused on that.
Hey, Stewart, you're talking to two guys that used to go to Empire Stadium in the late 70s to watch the Lions. So you're talking to two guys that have loved this league for a long time. Stayed at 3 downs. That was a big one for me, because if you go to 4 downs, then you might as well call it NFL 2. Talk about the importance of staying at 3 downs.
Rick, I go back to watching games in the 70s myself. You look far too young for that to be true. But it was just never a question. It was never a question. It never discussed once the number of downs or any of the other rules that I would say truly reflect our Canadian brand of play. That's actually what we're trying to expose. So no, we are a 3-down league.
What about the ratio? That's the other one for me, is making sure you didn't change the ratio, because it's important to have that many Canadians on the roster every year.
Well, I again can say the ratio was never discussed, never considered. Wasn't in any thought process. But to be fair, that is a CBA
Right.
issue. That is baked into our CBA, and we have many years left in our wonderful CBA. And so, of course, that was not under consideration. But I'll leave it at this. Boy, the Canadians we have in our league are performing at, I think, an all-time high, and they're doing our country proud.
Stuart, you're a TV guy. You have an extensive background in television with TSN. And I was wondering, when I heard about the move from 110 yards to 100 and shrinking the end zone from 20 yards, and I remember 25-yard end zones, by the way, to 15 yards. And certainly that will help with offense. But I've always felt that for whatever reason, the NFL field, smaller field, looks, if I can use the word, better on television than the CFL field, much like I think that the NHL-sized arenas look better than the European-sized arenas. Was that a factor at all?
Well, it wasn't, Don. And by the way, you look too young to know about 25-yard.
Thank you.
Yes, but no, it wasn't a factor. Look, and mostly because I think the difference you see in production style between NFL television production and Canadian is the width of the field, and we are not touching the width of the field. That leads to 12 players and basically all our other key rules. So no, I don't think that shrinking the length is going to make too much of a difference. We are going to talk to our broadcast partners and think about whether there's some new camera angles that can come through on this, but it was not a focus of this decision.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I can't put my finger on it. It's just a personal opinion. Let's get back to Nathan Rourke for a second, if you don't mind, Stuart. He talked about the players not being consulted. What can you tell us about that?
Well, look, I think that these are clearly significant decisions, and we involved quite a group of folks that are here at the league office and in and around from our lead governors for some. We had football operations involved. We had marketing, data analytics, stats, communications, all of that involved, and months of work. And a lot of people who are ex-football players involved in this. And when you're talking about major business decisions, it's a balance between what you can share and what you just need to power forward when you know it's right.
Yeah. You mentioned now it's time to move on to other parts of the business, other parts to review. What's next for you?
Yeah, it's so I think there are a number of things that we're focused on. Some of them are just grinding out steps to help elevate our league. They're not big, massive press conference worthy announcements, but we have to look at every part of our off-field product to make sure that it lives up to the level of our on-field product, and that means every part of our business and who we partner with, and how we deliver our messaging, and how we look as a league. The goal here is to secure the CFL's rightful place as a top North American major professional league. We are Canadian and we are strong, and we need to make sure that we are at that level.
Stuart, where's the health of the league right now in terms of all clubs across the board? This is your first year as the new commish, but what are you seeing the good and the areas you got to improve on?
Good is ratings are up. We've got some in-stadium metrics that are up, like attendance and game day revenue. We've got great growth on social, on digital, on our relationships with fans through digital, marketable fans who get to hear from us and want to hear from us. So some really good metrics there, but there's a lot of work to do. And business is cyclical. And we know professional sports, and CFL is not excluded, established professional sports, they go through cycles. I think we're in a good run right now, and we got to make sure that it continues to grow and doesn't fall into the downturn that sometimes happens on those cycles. So, we want to improve attendance in a number of markets. We want to have our ratings continue to grow. And that is a very difficult thing to do in the modern age. And so we've got to make sure that we've got the right elements in place to drive attention through our media partners. And overall, I need to generate more revenue and increase revenue at a greater clip than our costs are increasing. And that's going to lead to a sustainable, healthy league.
I love the new stadiums in Hamilton, Winnipeg, Saskatchewan. Any talk in Vancouver? The Whitecaps are looking, Stewart, to build something new. Could the Lions get together with them? I mean, are you hearing anything about a new stadium for the Lions in Vancouver?
I talk to Dwayne often and Amar, and that is not a topic of conversation that we've had. I think it's there for Snoop Dogg to open it this season, and it was a great vibe in BC Place. I really enjoyed it.
Rick wants to see less rap artists and more old school rock and roll. Maybe you could talk to Amar about that. By the way, Stuart, you look way too young to be commissioner of the CFL, so we'll return the compliment.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, you know what? And one more thing, Stuart. I think, and all of us here agree, we're all fans of the league. I think it's been a great week for the league. At the very least, it's number one. It's been our number one topic of discussion this week. That doesn't always happen. I think it's been a great week.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate that. I talk an awful lot about we are in the attention economy. Yeah. That's what you do every day. It's what we do every weekend and all week long. We've got to win the attention economy. I think we absolutely annihilated the attention economy this week. But I also don't want to, I would love to annihilate the attention economy with all of our fans embracing and joyful. So I want to come on these types of shows, make sure that, if I can reassure anyone who's got some concerns or some nervousness about where we're going. We are the Canadian Football League playing a Canadian game, and we are going to grow and continue to be great.
Yeah, and I keep saying one more thing, but what Nathan had to say, and we can disagree with what he had to say, but the passion that he showed, that helped the attention that your league got this week.
Absolutely, passion drives our entire business, and a lot of the fans have been very passionate. Reaching out to me, both positive and negative, or just questioning or online. That comes from really a place of love for what we do. And boy, that is something we need to cherish.
Stuart, this has been great. We could go on and on. Thanks so much.
My pleasure. Thanks, guys.
You bet.